that we're seeing some of the most decorated collegiate gymnasts compete for their final time at the SEC championships. Of course, they hope their postseason continues with the NCAA championships, but this is all they've known for their entire lives. A lot of them starting gymnastics when they're 3 years old, and now they're facing the prospect that it will be done for them after this year. Alex McMurtry from Florida told me it's really starting to hit her hard, but she's focusing on staying in the moment and doing her job. She said she doesn't want to be distracted by being sad. And then Alabama's Nikki Guerrero said that she's just enjoying every moment, celebrating the accomplishments to get to this point. We've seen gutsy performances already out of her tonight. And then for LSU's Maya Hambrick, it's all about making sure that she's encouraging the youngsters that are required to contribute for this LSU team. She said she's found great joy in seeing their successes, and it's taken her mind off of thinking about the fact that this is her final SEC championship. But of course, you guys, this is a scenario where all of these gymnasts want to go out on a winning note to finish their careers.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, it's an emotional evening for a lot of these young ladies, and some of the toughest athletes in the world on the floor competing simultaneously here. You can follow the action on our NCC All-Around channel. 4 events going on at the same time. Sydney Tukes, not only did she do extremely well on floor, but what a start on vault for Kentucky.
Drilled a perfect landing on that vault to start them off. LSU on the uneven bars. They need to go big here. They're ranked #1 in the country on the uneven bars, and they've got some ground to make up.
Florida on the beam in this rotation, and Alabama off that outstanding performance on beam goes to the floor.
That was a huge performance by Sammy Durante to lead off LSU on bars, and Amelia Hunley on beam. She has been so steady for them. She's competing in the all-around, all 4 events.
Hunley is a sophomore, 3-time All-American last year, All-SEC team.
And Alabama has put a lot of pressure on the remaining teams on balance beam. It's a good position for Alabama to be in, and all the other teams have to step up.
Hunley has extensive international experience, was 9th in the 2016 U.S. Olympic trials, and she competed on the Pan Am and World Championship teams for the U.S. team.
And those nerves of steel are coming into play here. You can just dial that in, focus, stay calm, but aggressive. Everyone needs to get these landings, not give away tenths of a point that you don't have to. Very nicely done. Way to fight for that landing.
Florida keeping the momentum off that outstanding opening rotation on the bars. Maya Hambrick set to go now, the senior from Temple, Georgia, 12-time All-American.
And she has been a tremendous contributor to LSU, one of the top all-arounders in the country, ranked 5th.
She's coming up after Sammy Durante, led him off with a strong 9.85.
Maya has no weak event. She's equally strong on all 4. This is a great routine for her. Half in, half out. Excellent form and a perfect landing. Now they're finding their landings. They had some trouble over on vault, but not here. They're hitting that shape in the air, giving themselves time to spot the landing, see it, and get it.
And a fist pump from Jay Clark, the associate head coach. LSU #1 in the country, ranked on the uneven bars, and a lot of it is because of the coaching of that young lady there, Dee Dee Bro, in her 41st season, the dean of coaches in the SEC, and of course Jay Clark, who's done a superb job on bars. Danae Dennis coming up after 2 9.875s. Danae Davis, for Kentucky.
Big block off the table. Unfortunately, could not control that landing. Looked like she had a little more height than she was expecting. Love to see that good technique, though, that lift off of the table before she twists.
Megan Skaggs on the beam. Amelia Huntley solid with a 9.85 in the leadoff spot.
Beautiful straddle split mount, showing off the flexibility right off the bat. This is her full turn, a requirement. She does it in a wolf turn, actually a double turn. Great difficulty. going to be interesting to see the scores on balance beam. We've already seen 2 massive balance beam scores, and I know a lot of great beam performers are yet to come, so not a lot of space up there at the top.
Good point. Maya Hamrick's scores is in 9.9.
Very nice. Look at how hard she fought. Bring those arms down, finish that skill to show the presentation and to lock in that balanced position.
Florida has lots of options in terms of depth, and it's challenged this weekend because, as you mentioned, Kennedy Baker, one of their standout all-arounders, out with an Achilles injury.
Well, having both Megan Skaggs and Jazzing Faubourg step up as freshmen to contribute is going to be a big bonus for them in this competition. Love this double wolf turn, and I'm not a huge fan of that skill. It's hard to make it look pretty, but she did that pretty well.
Ruby Harold for LSU just a moment ago on bars. This is the young lady who is a 2-time member of the British Olympic team, 2012 and 2016.
And she needs to come back strong on this event. What an original move that first skill is out of her mouth. Very original. Here comes her release move to straddle Jaeger. So far, so good. This is a hard dismount to land. Double front. Over-rotate a little bit, took that step, but the routine was solid.
She was up after Maya Hamrick's 9.9. Sammy Durrani had a 9.85 to lead them off. So 3 strong routines for LSU in this second rotation on bars. Maddie Desch on floor for Alabama. Their scores are strong here. Abby Armbrecht, 9.85. Ari Guerra, a 9.9.
And this is an opportunity for Maddie Desch to really show what collegiate gymnastics is all about. She had a miss on beam, and her teammates covered for her. This is her chance now.
On bars for LSU at the same time as Kennedy Edney. Ruby Harold scores in a 9.75.
Hitting the handstands for LSU on bars. Kennedy's doing her job. This is a huge double layout. Nice position in the air. Perfect landing. Wish she had brought her heels together, but no movement. Back 1.5 twist to a Branny and a split jump.
So interesting to see what's happening here with Alabama, because we saw them in the first meet of the year. It was Alabama at Michigan, and they looked like they had the pieces of the puzzle, but it didn't look like they were all sort of hitting on all cylinders. But it's really showing tonight, isn't it, Kathy?
Yes, they've had a plan all along. They were going to take their time adding more of their difficulty into the routines. They've had some injuries they've had to work around.
Molly Korth now for Kentucky on vault, coming after Alex Highland's 9.9.
This is a big vault for Kentucky. A 1.5 twist. That is better than any of the ones she did in the warm-ups. Really nice control on the landing. Nice and straight, in line with the table. Really well done. Much better job for Maddie. Finished strong on floor exercise.
It's really interesting as you see Brian Rochilla, the associate head coach there, congratulating her as well. Alabama is one of the legendary programs in women's collegiate gymnastics. They've earned the right to pace themselves and peak towards the end of the season. Some other teams like Kentucky, they're trying to build a perception that they're a contender, but Alabama has earned that right. As we go back to LSU on bars, Lexi Priestman coming after Kennedy Edney's 9.9.
And this can be another big score. Nice back-to-back difficulty. The release on high bar right down to the release to low bar.
She's the reigning SEC champ on this event.
Nice handstand position. And a double layout dismount. Perfect landing. That's the best routine she has ever done on that event.
Incredible. Here's a young lady who's had 6 orthopedic surgeries on just about every joint in her body, and they don't know what they're going to get from her, do they?
So aggressive going after those handstands. Showed that off perfectly. And what a gorgeous position in the air. Double layout, legs glued together, and a perfect landing.
That will be a big score, and they're not done yet over there because Sarah Finnegan will wrap up LSU's effort on the bars. They have 2 9.9s over there so far. Rachel Gowie on beam. And Alicia Boren had a 9.925 after Megan Skaggs' 9.9. So Florida, outstanding here.
There's some good beam energy in this arena. I'm seeing so many really fantastic balance beam routines under a lot of pressure.
Yowie, the sophomore from Urbandale, Iowa, also a competitor in the 2016 Olympic trials, has extensive international competition. 3
skills here, back handspring to 2 layout step outs. Good difficulty. Whoa! Had to fight to save that. She was a little bit off in the air. I thought she was going to pull it back on. That was the same series we saw Nikki Guerrero of Alabama perform. Nice to see her get her composure back. Dismount sequence here. Gainer full off the side, a little half step back. That'll be a deduction as well. She gave up a little bit in that routine. It's unfortunate because she's a very pretty balance beam worker.
They'll have 2 more performers over there, Alyssa Baumann and Alex McMurtry. Just a moment ago, Sarah Finnegan for LSU on bars, their anchor performer, and you see her incredible season average there, 9.96.
Sarah rarely gives up anything in terms of form deductions. Look how straight her legs are, how pointed her toes are, and together, a little bit rushed here. That rhythm was a little bit off to the transition down to low bar. Not a big problem, just minor. Double out, micro hop backwards. I've seen her be a little bit more perfect in that routine, but really solid.
The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One continues tomorrow on ESPN with the Elite 8 at noon Eastern. It's number 1 Louisville and number 6 Oregon State. Then at 7, it's number 1 Mississippi State and number 3 UCLA. You can watch the games streaming live on the ESPN app. So the LSU Tigers, impressive on the bars. We're waiting for the score for Sarah Finnegan, but they already have 3 9.9s and a 9.85. The score they're going to hope to replace is Ruby Harold's 9.75. Expect a big score for LSU here in the second rotation on bars. Kiana Winston up for Alabama. Their scores so far, Lexi Graber just before her a 9.775, Maddie Desch a 9.8. The high score so far, Ari Guerra's 9.9.
This has probably been Alabama's weakest event throughout the season. Just working around certain injuries and taking their time, adding more difficulty into the routines. Kiana can do a double layout, but she's doing a double pike here. So not quite doing the full difficulty.
Talking to the coaching staff before the competition, and they said, you know, there's a risk-reward thing we have to consider, and you could go for a more difficult move but take a step and guarantee a deduction. So they said in this competition there's no upside right now for going for the more difficult.
Absolutely, and you run the risk of even a minor injury at this point in the season is just something you can't deal with.
2 weeks from now they'll have the regionals, and then 2 weeks after that they'll have the NCAA championships. This is all postseason stuff right now, and it really matters. Winston, the senior from Fort Worth, Texas, did her club training at Texas Dreams under gymnastics legend Kim Zameskel-Burdett.
Closes the routine with a double back in tuck position. For those of you new to gymnastics, when you see a double back in tuck position, that's the easiest of the 3 double backs. Then piked is the next difficult. Double layout, which we will see later in the competition, is the most
and
difficult.
A heel
That's a cute little heel.
She should work that into her choreography. That's pretty clever. Moments ago, Alyssa Baumann on beam for Florida, coming after Rachel Gowie's 9.825.
And she is one of the most extraordinary balance beam workers in the country. Everyone was excited to see what her collegiate routine would look like. She's had great success in elite gymnastics. Such a natural beam worker and can do so many level skills of difficulty. That's a nice one. A nodi, a half turn into the the front walkover. Back handspring layout, step out, solid as can be.
Baumann from Dallas, Texas, did her club training at the World Olympic Gymnastics Academy. And of course, has produced world and Olympic medalists out of that program.
Nice and easy front aerial. Love the way she moves in and out of the elements of difficulty. Shows great confidence, good rhythm. Had plenty of difficulty in the routine, and the 1.5 twist dismount, very well done. Perfect landing.
And her score, a 9.975 for Alyssa Baumann from Florida. What a rotation. They have a 9.9, a 9.925, a 9.975. And Alex McMurtry will be their anchor performer as we go back to the floor where Alabama is doing superbly well. Also, this is Nikki Guerrero.
And there are very few gymnasts who have as much fun as Nikki does with her floor routine.
Alex McMurtry, the senior from Maryland, reigning NCAA all-around champion and SEC all-around champion on the beam for Florida.
Alex is such a precise gymnast. Every skill is done with great precision, very good form, good posture. Back 1.5 to front full on the floor exercise. Got dueling difficulties here, showing great work on balance beam. This is one of Alex's better balance beam routines, has given up very little in terms of deduction. Everything has been just spot on. A double twist, little bit of a bounce on that landing. That will be a micro deduction there.
Well, I love her technique, though. She just skies that double full.
Absolutely. Final pass, a Rudy.
Few people sell their floor routine better than senior Nikki Guerrero from Alabama. She's coming up after the 9.85 from Kiana Winston. There's only 1.99 for Alabama on floor, and that was Ari Guerra's. Let's go down to Laura. She's with Dana Duckworth.
All right, thanks, Bart. Coach, let's go back to beam because you have a situation where you need major comeback, and then your two seniors, 9.95s. How were they able to pull that off?
I feel like they just focused on being in the present and not worrying about anything that happened behind them or before them. It was just literally, they were just doing it for their girls. And I just cannot say enough about the confidence that these seniors have given the entire team. They're magnificent young women on top of being awesome athletes.
How do you ride the confidence of your seniors throughout the rest of this meet?
Well, I think they've been incredible role models. They have lived every part in and out of the gym in what we've asked of them to be, in discipline, in making great choices, and all those things. And so, you know, when you're built on character, then amazing things can happen. And that's what we're focused on. Yeah, we want to be great athletes, but if your character isn't what it needs to be, that's the difference in moving on in life and being successful.
Thanks so much.
Roll Tide. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Laura. Congratulations, Dana. Okay, Florida, based on the strength of that second rotation, has retaken the lead at the halfway point in the competition. What a beam performance here.
What a beam rotation for Florida, and finish it off with a great one.